Hello. How's everyone doing?
Hello, welcome to Our Dinner is Done. Tonight we are making turkey chili. If you follow us on Instagram, I put that up on our story today and I had asked some of you what you like to put in your chili, and there were lots of different answers. We had beans, ground turkey, different types of peppers, gator tail. That one was from your
Ooh.
cousin.
Okay, that makes sense.
So we've gotten a couple different ideas about how to make chili. Chili is one of those dishes that you could really put just about anything that you like in. You can change up the proteins. You can put different types of beans. Some people don't like beans. You could put different veggies. We're actually going to be putting corn in ours tonight.
Yeah, you could make a meatless chili and just
Meatless,
use
yep.
like winter vegetables. You could do squash.
Yep, we've done squash before. You could do like a sweet potato chili. You could do all sorts of things. So there's lots that you could do with it, but they always come out really tasty. So tonight we're making a turkey chili, and we're going to use some red bell peppers from our garden
That's
outside.
the last three.
The last three that
We
we
might
have.
get one more.
I think we have a couple on the
I got a
plant
tomato
right now.
I'm excited about
That.
it. I got a nice
Oh
red.
yeah, we got a nice
got
tomato
a nice
too.
red tomato. Just picked it 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, but we have these tiny little bell peppers that we're going to use. So we're going to use these tonight, get them done. We're also going to put jalapeno from our garden, some onion, and some garlic. And we're going to use red kidney beans and corn in this one. I always put a little bit of barbecue sauce in mine just to make it a little bit sweeter. And we're going to be cheating tonight. We're going to be using a prepackaged chili seasoning mix. You could absolutely, put the seasonings that you like in chili seasoning, cumin, paprika, different seasonings like that. But this one kind of has it all in there already, so we're just going to use that, do a little shortcut.
It's nice and easy.
Yeah. Oh, hello. I see my mom. I see my brother on there. I see some... Oh, hello. So, hello, everybody. Give us a shout if you have some ideas, or you could tell us about how you like to make your own chili. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to prep some of these vegetables. And while he's cutting up the vegetables that we have here, I'm going to start with the turkey meat. You could certainly cook your chili in a large sauce pot like this, or you can use maybe like a Dutch oven if you have one. I'm just going to use this nice deep pot. I just feel like it has a little bit more room. We're using ground turkey. It's pretty lean meat, so there's not going to be a whole lot of fat that comes off of this, but I always drain the fat either way. And I'm just going to pre-season that with some salt and pepper and get that cooking in the pot. Then we'll strain that out and put it over to the side, and then we'll start putting the other things in the chili. And you're going to kind of want to let this simmer for a little bit. The longer it simmers, the better it tastes.
So, actually, honestly, it always tastes better the next day.
It does. It does tend to taste better the next day. That was just... Is it outside?
No, no worries.
Sorry, one of our dogs was barking. So, the other thing that I'm going to mention is that I have some white rice cooking in our rice cooker. We like to serve chili over white rice. Some people don't eat it over rice. They eat it with bread, or they might eat it with tortilla chips. You could eat it really any way you want. So
you can eat it just chili.
Just
in
chili.
a bowl.
Yep, in a bowl. So you could really kind of play with it however you want. Toppings are also something that you could change up. You could put cheese, sour cream, avocado, jalapeno, sliced jalapenos. Really, any way you want. So this is something that we love to make during the colder months. I make a lot of chili during the colder months.
It's a lot colder earlier this week.
It was, so we had plans
I told her to make chili.
Let's make chili. Today it actually ended up being pretty warm outside, but that's okay. We still have everything that we need to get going. So
And Sally's kind of in charge. This is her recipe.
Yeah.
This is not mine. I'm just her sous chef.
This is one of the meals that I always make, and most of the time, honestly, I would make this after I would come home from work. As you know, we're both teachers, so I would come home from work, and I would start it as soon as I got home, and then I would just kind of let it simmer really low for a couple of hours until he got home and we were ready to eat, because we feel like it usually tastes better that way. Tonight, we're going to make it, let it simmer for maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then we're going to eat it just because we're going to be hungry. So that's the way it's going to work tonight. So, all right. So first, I'm going to put on our heat about medium. Medium heat, I would say, is probably where you want to be. You don't want it to burn.
Hey Mark, hey Sally, hey Icelandic theater geek. I don't know.
I know. Please tell us your first name.
I don't. Otherwise, I'll just call you Icelandic. It's a great name. It's a great username.
Great username.
And hi, Anastasia. How are you?
All right. Can you keep that open for me, please? So, like I said, we have our white rice cooking already in the rice cooker. I rinse it off. I also season it with a little bit of salt, garlic powder, and onion powder, and onion powder just to make it a little bit more flavorful. This turkey, I'm going to turn up the heat just a little bit. While it's breaking up in here and cooking, I am going to add salt and pepper just to season up the meat. And get this cooking and ready to go. All right. So Icelandic is easier than her real name. Oh, I would love to pronounce that, but I don't want to butcher your name. I'm gonna have to look that up and practice it. Okay, so I'm just breaking up this turkey meat right now. I have to stand on my tippy toes. I'm a short person, so in this kitchen, I find that I generally have to stand on my toes when I'm cooking and when I'm doing the dishes. It's just easier for me that way.
I'm gonna get you like a little stool.
I know. I probably.
Maybe when the baby gets bigger, you can use
I have
stool.
I have a step stool from his. Yeah, from his room. I could probably just use that.
Check it out.
Okay,
There,
so
let's
you
go.
you can start cutting up whatever you have there. Peppers, onions. You could cut up all of them. Get us ready. I'm just breaking this turkey apart, and then I'm gonna season it up and give it a nice good stir and make sure it's all evenly coated.
It seems like everybody uses beans. Seems to be the consensus.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that I love beans in my chili, and sometimes I'll use kidney beans and like a red kidney bean, and I might use a white kidney bean or a cannellini bean or a navy bean, something like that. I actually like white beans, especially with turkey chutney. I think that they have a nice flavor combination together. But you sometimes see on these cooking shows when they're in different parts of the country, I think in I guess it's in Texas or somewhere in the South, that they don't use beans in their chili. It's just peppers.
Ohio Skyline chili, like it's a Cincinnati dish, is without beans. It's just meat.
Yeah, so you could, again, this is really, it's your preference how you like to eat it. So there's really no wrong answer.
Rock said no beans in Texas chili.
No, okay, thank you. So that's what I thought. I thought it was Texas. But do it the way that you like, and you're gonna, whatever you like to eat at home is the way you like to make it. And there's no wrong way to eat it. It's a really comforting, hearty type of comfort food. So it's really yummy. I'm just gonna push our camera up a little bit because I feel like Jimmy, your top of your head is getting cut off a little bit. Better, everybody? No. That works a little bit better. There you go.
I'm not that tall, so it made me feel tall.
I was just a little nervous that we're cutting off half of your face. Okay, so this is cooking down. Would you hand me the salt and pepper, please? Yeah, so we're just using fresh black peppercorn, the grinder, and the sea salt. And we're just going to season this up. We want to make sure that this gets a little bit of seasoning prior to putting everything else in. Turkey meat is kind of bleh.
Yeah, it doesn't really have much flavor,
It doesn't have
and it doesn't have any. It's very low fat content, so it doesn't have a ton of flavor in it. So, Soul on Fire, you said you used to use meat before you became a vegetarian. So, a great option is squash.
Squash, yeah.
We've made this exact same chili dish without the turkey chili and use squash instead, which it's squash season now. It's the fall. You could do butternut squash, acorn squash. Squash is very versatile. I'm staring at right now 2 containers full of different squash.
Yeah, we're going to be making some squash later this week. Last night we had spaghetti squash for dinner. We have some delicata squash here that we're going to be making later in the week.
We like squash in this house, so we have a butternut squash that would work really well in a chili. Delicata squash is just really nice. You actually can use the whole rind as well. This is a little. This guy's getting a little soft. We're gonna have to use this one soon.
Is it an acorn squash, you think?
This is no. It had a fun name. That's why I got it. But it's actually a little mushy.
Oh no. Oh, we better use that one up.
And then spaghetti squash, which is awesome. It's called spaghetti squash because it looks like spaghetti when you cook it.
And that we make really simple with just a little bit of olive oil and salt and pepper and
a little Parmesan.
And a little Parmesan cheese. It's really tasty. It's a great side dish. And it actually doesn't feel like it's going to be that filling, but it is. So.
And last night when I made it, you were like, oh my gosh, can you put butter in this? And I didn't. It's just the olive oil, and it's super easy to cook.
And so rich. So this turkey meat, it was a pound of turkey meat. Obviously, you could make this in a bigger batch if you have more people to feed. This generally for us lasts like at least until the second day.
At least until the second day.
But we're just using about a pound of this turkey chili. The turkey cooks very quickly. So it actually looks like it's done already. Just making sure that there's like no real pink spots or anything like that in here. Just breaking it into smaller little pieces. I'm going to drain this out. There happens to be a bit of fat in this because I think this was like 7% fat. So there is a bit of fat in here that I'll drain out. And then we'll start cooking up the vegetables in here. And the other thing I just want to note, if you're going to ever drain out fat or like juices from meat that you're cooking, make sure that you put them in a plastic container.
Don't put them down
Do not put them down your drain.
First of all, it's bad for your drain, but it's also terrible for the environment.
Yeah. So just don't do that. Just, put it in a container and then let it kind of congeal, get hard, and throw it out. Okay.
I feel like the universal container for that is the Chinese food soup container.
Soup container, yeah. So I'm gonna do that right now. Actually, would you mind? Let me get I have the lid. Actually, I just need to get the rest of it slow.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. And I'm gonna do that over here. I kind of do a little shortcut where I just take the lid of the pot and I kind of keep the seal open just a little bit, and then I dip it or tip it over and let it drip out into the container. But I'm going to use pot holders so I don't burn my hands.
I would just grab it.
He would.
It's not that hot. It's got the silicone on it.
Yeah, but the lid is hot. So I don't want to burn
The
my
lid
hands.
has silicone too. So the onions I just gave a nice dice to, so those are ready to go. They'll cook down very nicely. Getting emotional about my onions. So the sensation of, this is off cooking topic, but the sensation of cutting onions and that tearing feeling, I got a COVID test on Saturday because I wanted to know. I've been in school for a month, so I had been around hundreds of children, and they are asymptomatic carriers. So I went and I got a rapid test, and it just kind of like tickled, went up my nose, and then I had a rush of like, I didn't cry. I don't cry, no. But it felt like I was chopping onions, that sort of sensation. That was it, and I was negative.
Yes. So this is how much fat actually came off that, so it was quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to take this turkey meat. I could have drained it a different way because I'm going to just set it to the side. So I'm going to put it in a dish for now, off to the side, so that we can put our veggies in here. Or a bowl, yeah.
Big plate.
Yep, that's perfect. Thank you. I'm going to put it back here.
Pepper I'm just going to slice up.
Yep.
I like to cut the top off, and then I'm going to cut down and around, leaving just the center, the white part, as well as the seeds. Our dog Hogan must see an Amazon truck because he hates Amazon. He doesn't like Jeff Bezos. Thinks he's too wealthy. Not a big fan.
Okay, so now I cleared the turkey out of the pot. I'm going to take a little bit of olive oil, about a tablespoon or two, coat the bottom of the pan so that we can start sauteing some of these vegetables up.
So Icelandic Theater Geek, who we're going to Google how to say your name, and we're going to figure it out, has to get tested a lot. So, I mean, it stinks that you have to get tested a lot. I mean, it's good that you know what you have.
Yeah.
I had to pay $100 to get tested.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of annoying, but, peace of mind is worth it.
Mm-hmm.
But, hopefully you're doing well and safe.
Yeah.
In Iceland, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
Is that wrong to assume that, if
Mm-hmm.
you're Icelandic Theater Geek? Do you live in Iceland?
I would think so. And also, the more testing, the better, so.
Yeah, more testing the better. Absolutely. That way we know what's going on. virus is real. We just dove into a completely different type of
All right.
conversation.
Actually, I can start, once you're finished with that, I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to turn down this oil a little bit. It's cooking.
Yeah.
I don't want it to burn. I'm going to move this off the heat just a minute while we do that. And while you're doing that, I am going to start taking some of the...
So yes to Iceland and in a hospital. So yeah,
Yeah,
you have to get
makes
this stuff. So I mean, thank you, healthcare hero.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you're doing.
I'm going to take the corn, the beans, and I'm going to drain them, and I'm going to rinse them and drain them off. Rinse them off and drain them, rather. And because I don't really want to use the juices that come in the can and like the starchiness that's in the can. Tonight we're using red kidney beans and just some sweet corn. Like I said, you could use any beans that you like. I saw people like to put chickpeas. Those are great. Those are great to use. You could use white beans, pink beans, black beans. You could do a combination of any of those together. So I'm just going to open these up and rinse them off so that we have those to get softened up to in the pot.
So the peppers, I'm just
going to reach over you to get the... Yes, thank you.
So I'm just julienning the peppers, which means I'm just cutting them into slices, and then I'm going to dice them from there. Again, you want to just make sure they're all about the same size so that they're all going to cook the same duration. Oh, so on fire. You like cannellini and pinto. I like pinto beans a lot.
We're not using beans.
We're not using what?
Those are pretty pink.
We probably still rinse off, no? Try it.
All right, let's see what's inside. So, okay, maybe a change of plans, but we're going to see. We didn't realize when we ordered these cans of corn online recently that they're cream of corn. We usually just get whole kernels, which are much better. So I'm going to drain these and see what's inside. If they're kind of mushy, they might not be what we're going to be using tonight. Maybe we'll just add another can of beans. We can always add a different type of bean.
Yeah, I hadn't been to a supermarket or any type of shopping until about 2 weeks ago. And I went to a farmer's market. That was the first time I'd been food shopping. And there's really no going back. I don't think I'll ever want to go food shopping again. But you will have some mistakes when you're ordering or when it's picked up, which, you know, it happens. We'll just have to adjust.
Yeah, all right. So these aren't exactly what we want, but we can make them work.
It'll still work?
Yeah.
All right. So she's got to rinse off the corn now for it to work. It's not perfect, but
I don't want that cream.
Oh, what's up, SoCal? I've been really trying to hone these knife skills. Quarantine gave me plenty of time to do that. I still get nervous around the, what's it called? What's the thing that I hate?
Oh, tell them that story.
What do you call that thing?
The mandolin.
I still get freaked out around the mandolin. So SoCal, I don't know if I told you the story, but 2 years ago on Mother's Day, I decided it was a good idea to make eggplant rollantini. So I had gotten a mandolin for Christmas that year. Super excited to use it. They use it all the time on Chopped, no problem. So I cut up my eggplant, and I start slicing it on the mandolin. I get through 2. I'm making a ton of rollantini. I'm going very Jersey Italian on it, cooking up a ton. And I was not using the guard, and I was just going freeform because I thought I was on Chopped, and I was a professional chef, and I cut off the tip of my finger. So it was this one. It grew back like Wolverine, so it is back now. But I sliced it on a nice 45-degree angle, just shoo, right off. And I was pretty calm about it. I wrapped it in paper towel, picked up my piece of finger, and put it on the counter. And Sally was upstairs, like getting the house ready because we're having people over the next day or something
like that.
And I was like, "Hey, could you come down here?" She's like, "Oh, just give me a couple minutes. I gotta dry my hair or something." I was like, "No, I think you gotta come down now. We might have to go to the hospital."
He was very calm about it, and when he said, "No, come downstairs now," I went, "Okay, I'm not sure what's happening, but it doesn't sound good to me. Can you dump that in here, please?"
Yeah.
And sure enough, I come down, and his finger is just kind of, tip of his finger's laying on the countertop, and It was
was
pretty
fun.
gnarly.
Yeah, SoCal. I guess I would be ready for just the tip. I'm ready for to do a bris.
It was quite a mess, and we went to an urgent care facility.
Oh yeah. So first we go to urgent care, and I walk in there just like this with a paper towel that's now soaked through with blood, and I'm keeping it above my head. I know to keep it above your heart. And I walk in, they're like, "Oh, hi," and I'm like, "Oh, hi," and they see bloody paper towel. It's great. You skip the line right away. So next time you have like a little cough, I would just soak it in ketchup and go in there. But I skipped the line right away. They brought us right back, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna have to cauterize it." They're like, "But we don't do that here." And then next thing you know, there's like 5 people in the room. They're like, "Oh, how do you do this? How do you do this?" And they're like, "We can't help you. You got to go to the ER." Then we go to the ER. We go where one of her friends is a nurse, so we call ahead so we get a little bit better service. We walk in, it's the same thing. Everybody, all the nurses are like, "Oh, what'd you do? How'd you do that?" They all thought it was an avocado. Apparently, a lot of people go for the avocado pit like this and stab themselves. I mean, I do it pretty dangerously. I pop it off the pit out on the top. But yeah, and then they patched me up. I took off a piece of my nail. They gave me like some new skin and wrapped it super tight. And then I had to change the dressing once a day, which was horrible.
That was the worst part about it.
And when I take the dressing off, it was like peeling off my skin again. Real great food talk. So I'm sure you're all starving now.
But anyway, the moral of the story is please use the guard if you're going to use the mandolin. That's just the biggest thing. So anytime we watch Chop Now, he cringes anytime he sees it. Okay, right now I have the onions and the red bell peppers going in
Nikki's on fire right now.
in the pot with a little bit of olive oil. So we're just gonna kind of let these like soften up a bit. You can also cut up some of the jalapeno if you'd like to mix that in.
You want me to put it in now?
Yeah, you can. Maybe not the whole thing. You can save some for topping.
Sure. So I'm just gonna use the bottom end because that's not where the seeds are gonna be, so it won't be as spicy. She'll like that. And Brando was saying she told him a monkey bit it off. That's a whole nother story. So we were backpacking through Thailand a couple of years ago, and we were in Koh Phi Phi, and we were at Monkey Beach. And I picked up a baby monkey. It was adorable. And I'm holding this baby monkey in my hand. It's about like the size of this can. And I'm like, "Oh, take a picture. I'm holding a baby monkey." Cousin's there taking a picture. All of a sudden, I get a tug on my swimsuit. There's another monkey. I was like, "Oh, hi, monkey." A tug on my other side. Oh, 2 monkeys. They're like, they love me. They love me. And then I realized I'm holding baby, and that's Mama and Papa, and they are not pleased with me.
They were not happy.
And you know what I didn't know monkeys have? Giant fangs. And the monkey bit me on the calf. So I proceeded to throw baby monkey, turn and kick Mama monkey. Ooh, I kicked one of the dogs. And I'm kicking sand. My cousin comes to the rescue by rolling on the sand, hysterically laughing at me. The boat driver that we had hired for the day is hysterically laughing, saying, "Monkey bite, monkey bite." Monkey was hungry. I should have brought snacks for him to eat. We were feeding sun chips to the fish when we were snorkeling. Little did I know I should have been saving those for the monkey.
For the monkeys, yeah.
So, monkey bite. You know why they don't like that? When you go to the hospital because your tummy's not feeling well, when you get back stateside and you say monkey bite, yeah, they move you to isolation for 4 hours and they just start taking blood, and it was
doing all sorts of tests.
All sorts of tests.
This is prior to me meeting him, but I did hear that story pretty early on when we first started dating. So we've got bell peppers, jalapeno peppers, and onions.
Nurses are morbidly curious.
Okay, so onions, red bell pepper, and jalapeno, about half of the jalapeno are getting nice and soft in here now. And I'm going to wait to add the garlic, so you can get that chopped up.
How much mayonnaise?
I would say about 3 garlic cloves.
3?
So 4 is good. You could do anything between 3 and 5. In this house, we tend to go the more the merrier.
Garlic heavy. We're married. Doesn't matter if our breath smells.
No. So we got that. Okay, and I'm just gonna kind of let this sweat it out a little bit and get softer here. So Now, I know with chili, I've seen some different things the way people make them. Some people use tomato sauce and stock, or broth. Some people might use a little bit of tomato and maybe tomato sauce and some water. I'm just going to use a really big can of tomato sauce. This happens to be a peeled tomato, so I'm going to have to kind of crush these a little bit once they're in there. And if need be, I have a small can of tomato sauce that I can add in. I've never done this stock or broth in there. But you could certainly do that if you want. But my secret ingredient, like I said before, is adding a little bit of barbecue sauce in there too. And really, this is not a very challenging meal to make. You kind of just prep everything. It's a matter of like prepping everything up and then just letting it kind of simmer in the sauce for a bit. So when those are diced up and these just get a little bit softer, then I'll add the meat back in here, the garlic, the beans, the sauce, and then kind of let everything marry together.
Oh, branded tomatoes.
You know what?
Anything that ends in a vowel.
Yeah, we tend to get a lot of the Italian brands.
So Cento is really good.
Cento's a good one.
And what's the other one? The green can.
Cento and Tutto-Rosso.
Tutto-Rosso.
That's what we have here stateside.
So I guess it has to end in an O.
Yeah, and in an O. These are working really nicely. It smells good in here. Once we get all of that, we'll just let everything simmer. I just heard the rice pop, so that's probably done now. I usually just kind of let it rest there for a bit before I open it up and stir it. But the rice cooker does all the work for us. I rinse the rice off, add it in, and add some water, and then a little bit of garlic powder, onion powder, and salt. And then you just kind of let it cook down. So I always ate my chili over rice growing up. Did you?
We didn't really make chili. If we did have it, it was just plain chili.
Just plain chili in a bowl.
Yeah, in a bowl. I'd never had it over rice until we met.
Yeah, we eat a lot of rice in our family. So my background is half Puerto Rican, half Italian. So we ate a lot of rice and a lot of pasta growing up. So I don't ever really feel like a dish is really done unless there is rice or pasta on the side. But this looks good.
Looks good. You want
Yeah.
garlic?
Yeah, you can put the garlic in, and then I'm going to add the turkey back in. Actually, you know what? Do that, and I'm going to add the sauce and everything first and the beans, and then I'll throw the turkey in last minute.
Go, everything's cooking up nicely. It's got a nice color. I like that we added the jalapeno. That's a good call. So you have the red, the green, and almost the yellow now of the onions.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to add, you could throw that garlic in, and I'm also going to get the beans and the corn. Perfect. So as I said before, I rinsed these out. I rinsed the beans and the corn. This corn happened to be cream corn, so they're not really big whole kernels. There's some of them in there, but there's some just like smaller pieces of corn too, corn bits, but it'll work. So I'm going to throw those in. Give this a nice stir here. I'm going to bring the heat down just a little bit lower. Give that to you.
You?
Okay, and just let this kind of wilt down. Oh, the garlic in here smells really, really yummy now. Delicious. So I'll give you a peek at this too. You can see now we've got the corn, the beans, and all the veggies working together. Get them nice and soft. So what I like to do now is I'll add the turkey, and then I'm going to add the seasoning and the tomato sauce and everything and kind of mix it all up and let it simmer together. And then we can tell some more crazy stories, I guess, about some crazy health stories. All right, so our turkey's going to go in now. And then I'm going to give this a nice stir, and I'm going to add a little bit more salt and pepper in here. Give that a good stir.
Looks good. It looks good. It smells good too.
Yeah. Smells really yummy. So like I said, you could put really whatever your heart desires. Chili's really just like a meat and kind of pepper stew, if you think about it that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes I even will take, it depends. This is something that I like to make, like if we have a lot of canned goods in the pantry, because you're using a lot of the canned products in here. I mean, obviously you are more than welcome to use fresh beans and things like that, but that's a whole lot of, other steps with soaking the beans overnight and doing all that kind of thing. So canned beans are super easy. The canned tomato sauce really easy. So we use our pantry items like this. And sometimes I even will add canned potatoes. Canned potatoes.
That's always nice.
I'll dice them up and throw them in there too, and it makes it really hearty and.
It's a good vegetarian option.
Yeah, that's great to add if you're vegetarian for sure. Okay, so this looks good. Now I'm going to open up our can of sauce. Actually, I'm going to ask you to do that so I don't break my nail, please.
These are just going to be my jalapenos.
Yeah, he'll top
chili.
them. He'll top
I
his chili like that.
Spice. So trick, you can always use a spoon
And pop that
to
in.
start it for you.
Perfect. All right. Fabulous. Okay, and I'm just gonna dump the whole thing. This is a 28-ounce can. So I use the whole thing. It starts to kind of break down, and I kind of like it when there's a little bit more of the sauce. So I'm gonna put the whole thing in there. Like I said, these happen to be peeled tomatoes, so I'm gonna smush them up a little bit with a potato masher so that it gets nice and saucy. I'm going to do that, and then I'll add the seasoning, all of the chili seasoning, and the barbecue sauce. I'll show you what this looks like in a moment. Let me just work these tomatoes down. I'm just trying to be careful of the beans. I should have done the tomatoes first and then put the beans in so I don't squish all the beans, but that's okay. This is going to be a little bit chunkier.
You could also pop the tomatoes in your hands as you put them in.
Absolutely. I might even, like I said, I might actually add this little can of tomato sauce as well. So would you open that for me, please?
Did you stir in the seasoning packet?
I'm just about to do that now. So this one has chili powder. It has chili pepper and other spices like paprika, cumin, onion, salt, and garlic. So these are the types of flavors that you can make your own. You could certainly do that. But like I said, we had this in the cabinet, and it's really easy. So I'm just gonna toss that in. And I'm just going to give this a stir. So I'm going to toss this in now. It has really nice peppery kind of flavor, chili flavor.
Yeah, you can smell the cumin. Yeah, delicious.
Smells great, yeah. I'm going to give this a really good stir so that everything is hard. Yep, is all covered up. Thank you. We needed a little bit more sauce in there since these were the crushed or the peeled tomatoes. If they were the crushed tomatoes or just big tomato sauce can, it would have been fine with the 28 ounces. But since these are such big pieces of tomato, I wanted it to be a little bit saucier. So I added that smaller can as well. So this is all stirred up. And now I'm going to add just I would say it's probably between a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce. Pick whatever barbecue sauce you like. This one happens to be a honey barbecue sauce, so it's just a little bit sweeter.
Yeah, we like this one.
We like this one, so I usually just give it a couple good squeezes, and it just gives everything like a nice kind of sweeter flavor, and cuts down a little bit of like the acidity of the chili. So I'm gonna give that a good. Oh, there we go. You might be able to hear that. We're almost towards the end of the bottle there. Okay. All right, a nice good stir. And then I'm going to give you a peek of what this looks like. Okay. Have you take a look at that? You can see everything's kind of blended together there now. And now what I do is I put it back on the heat. I raise the heat up a bit to about medium high and let it kind of start to kind of bubble up a little bit and boil. Not come to a full boil. You don't want this stuff on the bottom to burn. So I just kind of let it get really hot. Then I'll turn the heat down low again and put the lid on and let it simmer. So I'm just going to turn this up and continue to stir it so it doesn't burn. This is just going to kind of start to get the flavors of everything kind of melt together, and it's going to give the beans and the corn like an opportunity to heat through, the turkey as well. And like we said, the longer it simmers, the better it tastes, but for the sake of tonight and showing you how to do it, we're just going to kind of let this simmer down for, I'd say about maybe between 10 and 15 minutes. And then you could top it over your rice or eat it with tortilla chips or eat it in a big bowl or eat it with some bread, however you like to eat it. Tell me, how do you like to eat it? Do any of you eat it over rice or eat it with bread or chips? How do you like to eat your chili? Okay, now this is starting to heat through, so let that bubble up a bit. And then I'll turn it down low. And I'll cover it with a lid to kind of like let it steam and get nice and cooked. You can actually hear, I don't know if you could hear it right now, but it's starting to bubble up a little bit and boil. Can you hear it? You might be able to. I'm not sure. So you're starting to see the little bubbles. That looks good. Give it a couple big stirs. Now, if you're going to be using like a seasoning packet and you're going to use another pound of this ground turkey and maybe additional cans of beans or corn or whatever you're making it with, you're probably going to want to use an additional seasoning packet. This is one that is made specifically for a pound of ground turkey. Okay, so now this is boiling like this. And we're going to turn down the heat. Now I'm going to put it on to low. And then I'm going to make sure it's tightly sealed with its lid. I'm going to put the timer on. I'm going to check it in about 10 minutes. Let's see. Oh, okay, Anastasia, you eat it in a bowl or with chips. That's good. Soul on Fire, you use saltines and scoop it up. Oh, that's a good idea. Saltine crackers are a great idea. Because then it's more like soupy that way. That's a really good idea. Soul on Fire was saying that she likes to eat her chili, scooping it up with saltines. Ooh, that's a good idea. And Anastasia said that she likes to use tortilla chips. If you don't actually use tortilla chips to scoop it up, you could always use like the tortilla strips and pop your chili with that. That's always a good idea.
We usually end up having some tortilla chips on the side.
On the side, even with her rice.
I like it with just tortilla chips.
Yeah, he likes to eat it with the tortilla chips. I like to eat it with rice. So it's really it's your preference. Oh yeah, Peter. Yeah, like we were saying the other day, we had actually posted that on our Instagram account. We order Freshly meals and we eat them for lunch, and they have some good chili options. They have a white bean turkey chili option right now that actually comes with rice, with white rice on the side. And they also have a red bean chili, turkey chili, and we sometimes will make those into nachos. So we'll pile it on top of tortilla chips and
Peter
we'll add
tried
cheese.
that the other day.
Yeah,
How
that's
was
what
it,
he was
Peter?
saying.
Oh,
so
how'd that turn out?
Yeah, did you like it that way? Because I think that it gives it it makes the meal it's really good to do it for dinner because then it's really hearty and filling. But we put the chips, we put some cheese on top. You could put sour cream, avocado. I like to also do
Lucky Charms, Mark.
I like to add avocado slices too. While I'm eating this, yeah. So I was gonna say you can definitely prepare some avocado because I think that would be a nice touch. We don't have sour cream tonight. Unfortunately,
now it's California.
Oh yes, now it's a California meal, Nick. But this, we definitely use avocado on top for a lot of meals. It just adds a little bit to some.
Did you notice our avocado is in the fridge? Because once they get ripe, if you put the avocado in the fridge, it stays at that ripeness and it'll last longer.
Yeah.
And you know it's ripe. You can usually tell by the color if it's that like darker brown, but also if this pit pops out, that means it's ripe. Oh, so avocado, I'm just going to slice into it and then run it along my knife, twist them apart. I have my two halves. Pop the pit out.
Be careful.
Pit is out. And then you could do the fancy like restaurant slices, or you can scoop it out.
Yeah. Sometimes too, we just take avocado and we'll kind of mash it. We don't make like a full guacamole with it, but sometimes we'll just put it into a bowl and mash it up and just add a little bit of seasoning like salt, pepper, garlic. So it's not quite a guacamole, but it's nice like mashed up like that. That's really easy to like kind of spread on bread if you're having like a sandwich that way. So it doesn't fall out of your sandwich.
So when they're nice and ripe, you can actually just peel them off, and then you're going to be able to get nice slices. So you can slice it and fan it, or you can slice it, or you can just cube it.
Yeah, that looks good. Let me see what we have there. Oh, have you ever tried using an egg slicer? That's actually a good idea.
That is a good idea.
That's the perfect. I don't even think we have one of those.
No, we don't.
I can't really eat the yolk of eggs. I have a sensitivity to the yolk, so although I love the way they taste, but so I don't think we have one of those little tools, that nifty tool. But that would be perfect, especially this size because this is like the tiniest little avocado right now.
It is. It is a little guy.
Fan it out.
Fan it out. Make it pretty.
Beautiful.
That's one option. Or you could just cube it from this point.
Yeah. And I was saying, we forgot to get some sour cream for this meal, but we recently had a sour cream that was made with Greek yogurt that was absolutely delicious. The Fahe brand. Really, really good. I actually preferred it to traditional sour cream. It had
anything Greek yogurt is going to taste better.
Yeah, it had just like a different type of flavor, heartier. It was creamier. Really liked the flavor of that. So that sounds good. So I think I'm gonna top mine with some cheddar cheese and some avocado. And Jimmy will probably have some avocado, cheddar cheese, and some of these jalapenos. I don't really like the jalapenos that much because I don't really like too much heat. He likes more heat than I do. When you're making your own chili and you are using your own seasoning and it's not a seasoning packet, just be mindful of how much chili powder you're using and what type of chili powder you're using because some are much hotter than others, so you don't want to put too much. Just kind of taste it as you go because you don't want to go overly hot. You just want to be mindful of how much heat you're putting in before you serve it to people. So, and you could very easily use different types of peppers. You could use chipotle peppers if you want to add in here. That would give it a different type of flavor. Habaneros, different levels of heat. We're just sticking to the jalapeno because we have it here in our garden. And we've got our red bell peppers that we had in our garden too. If you're using bell peppers, you could certainly use other colors. You could mix red and green together. You could do some yellow and orange ones if you have them. I love the sweeter ones. Baby is with his one grandma. He's with Nani right now, but he got his flu shot and some shots this morning, so he's just a little bit cranky, and he's probably getting a little bit hungry too. He's ready to eat. He started eating oatmeal this week though, and tomorrow he's getting to start with some fruits and veggies. So I think he's hungry. So right now we have about 4 minutes left on our timer here. I'm just gonna give it a quick peek and give it a nice stir. Make sure that it doesn't burn on the bottom. Sometimes that can happen if you're using a Dutch oven on the stove. At least it can with our Dutch oven on this stove. I recently made turkey sloppy joes, and normally I will put them in the crock pot, but I didn't want to use the crock pot that day, so I did the Dutch oven, and they ended up kind of burning in the Dutch oven because of the barbecue sauce. So I'd recommend sticking with a crock pot with that, or a pot like this. And that's something I could absolutely make one night on here to show you how to make the turkey sloppy joes. You could use ground beef, or you could use the turkey chop, which is what we use here, and that is really, really yummy too. And you could serve it over some rolls. And the last time we made it, Jimmy made some pickled red onions to go on top. That was very good. Or you could actually serve it with like a homemade coleslaw, which would be good too. So this is looking really good. You're going to notice too, I'm going to show you on the camera here, you're going to see now that it's kind of got like the sauce that is bubbled up on top, and it looks more liquidy. So as it's cooking, you're going to see that happen more, and I'm just going to give it a nice big stir. I don't know if you could hear the conversation going on in the background, but it's all baby diaper talk. I can. I don't know if anybody else can hear it.
We're talking consistency.
Yeah, tonight has been an interesting evening of conversation on medical.
Fingers cut
stuff.
off, monkey bites.
I can actually tell you what happened to me today. That's a weird medical story, right? So,
Yeah. I'd like to hear Icelandic theater.
Yeah, so the last couple of months I have had a pressure in my ear and like an itchiness in my ear and my throat, and with all that's going on in the world, you want to be cautious and you want to be careful and see what's going on. And I don't have any other types of symptoms like COVID symptoms or fever or sore throat or anything like that. But I have been dealing with this, and it's been kind of ongoing, and I thought it was my allergies. So I decided to schedule an ENT appointment, and it turns out that I had a tonsil stone that was lodged in the back behind my left tonsil. It had to be removed today. It's super easy. They just kind of pop it out with a long Q-tip. But definitely have relief now. So if you ever have those, they are certainly a pain. And I'm sure this isn't, like we said, the most appetizing of discussions tonight, but it's kind of what we ended up talking about, some weird medical incidents that we've have experienced in our life over the last couple of years, and for me over the last couple of months. So I'm so glad that I had that done, so that I feel some relief now. All right, so that has been simmering for about 10 minutes actually. The timer, I just clicked the timer off. I'm going to give this just a little bit of a taste to see if it needs some more time to marry up. I think I'm going to add some more seasoning in there. Okay. I think that cream corn kind of gave it a little bit of a sweetness, so I'm going to put some onion powder and some garlic powder. Stir that up. That was better. I need a little more seasoning in there. So that's good to go. And so I'm just going to let that kind of simmer up while I start plating up the rice and some of the other things that we have here. Actually, actually going to give another little squeeze of the barbecue sauce too. There's a little bit of heat in there that just comes in that seasoning packet, but you could certainly add a little bit more chili powder if you wanted to.
Baby's back in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Fussy.
Mm-hmm.
Fussy boy.
Yeah, a little fussy today with the steam.
Did you answer this?
No.
Icelandic Theater Geek said healthcare workers can talk about the most disgusting things over dinner.
Oh, sure. I'm sure of that.
Oh, so Dad's not the biggest fan. I could imagine that. So you're talking shop over dinner, and you're like, oh, yeah, so this guy lost a limb, and that would definitely not be the most
It's
appetizing
interesting
thing.
because, I mean, like, I could talk about it, but I definitely wouldn't want to see it. So I give nurses a ton of credit, people that work in the medical field.
I'm terrified of needles.
Yes.
Terrified. Makes a lot
Got
of
a
sense.
ton of tattoos all over the place. That's true, but
I've gotten better, though.
Mhm. Okay, so I
That's
think
good.
we're good to go. So we are going to plate up some rice, and then we'll put our little toppings on. And we'll be good to go.
Okay, so
Yeah, a little bit of cheese, a little bit we're going to just use some shredded cheddar that we have, like a Mexican blend. That'll be pretty tasty. If we had some sour cream, we would have put a little dollop of sour cream if we had it, but we'll just do some cheese, some avocado, and some little jalapenos. And tonight we will share this on our Instagram page, so please follow us there. I'll transfer this video over to our YouTube page too, if you are just joining us now or you want to watch it again later. And we'll post the recipe on our page. So let him plate this up. We'll give you a good look at it, and then we're going to go eat. I turned this heat off too with the lid. It's just kind of steaming up now. He's doing his fancy plating with... No? Okay. Oh, are you going to put a little hole in it? He is. I read his mind. So, if you remember from the last time, we made some rice, and he used a small bowl and kind of fit it into the bowl, packed it in like that, and put it onto the plate. So now what he's going to do is kind of put a little divot, if you will, in this little mound of rice, and then kind of put the chili right inside, so it has a little place to kind of sit.
I don't know if this is gonna work, but
You could probably even just kind of press it down with a spoon or something. Oh, he's doing it more like volcano style. I thought he was just going to press it down.
well, you know, we'll do two different versions.
Okay, we'll try. We'll see which works better. Right now, he's just using a knife to kind of make an opening. I think he could just
So we
put
have
a
the-
spoon.
Here's the volcano. The
Okay.
very 6th grade science experiment.
Let me see if I can turn this down a little bit if you guys can see this. Oh, actually, the light from outside is pretty bright as well. Let me turn that.
Oh, big volcano on this one too.
That's a little better. So you can see that he put a little hole. It almost has like a donut hole. And then this one,
Yeah, I'm switching that.
this one works a little bit better because the spoon you can open it up a bit more. All right, so I am gonna put some chili in here. Aw. We're almost done, little man. So you can see there's a little now mound of chili inside.
That looks good.
Yeah. It actually reminds me a little bit of like mofongo, the way a mofongo is made. All right. So we've got these two dishes. Just gonna scoop this over. Gonna add the cheese. Perfect. It'll melt down from the heat of the chili there.
Do you have a preference on which one is yours?
I'm going to take the one that has less. This is a really big bowl.
So I'm going jalapenos.
He's going to top with some
Spice.
jalapenos there.
And then, do you want the fan or do you want the taste?
I'm going to do the fan, please.
Fan.
Cool.
Pretty.
That is very pretty.
Pretty.
So those are some pretty dishes here. And as we were saying earlier, you could certainly customize this to what you like, include some of the foods that you like, veggies that you like, different types of beans, corn, all that stuff. But here is our finished plate of chili. This one has the fanned out avocado. And this one here has the cubed avocado with some jalapenos on the top. So here we go. Here is our turkey chili for the evening. So we are going to get ourselves ready to eat, and our little guy some food as well, because he seems to be hungry too. Thanks for joining us tonight, and thanks to everybody who's been joining us for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, thanks for all the follows.
Yeah, we've gotten a bunch of follows. We just reached over 50 followers this week, so we're really excited about that. And we're on our way to becoming affiliates, it seems, once we reach our time,
Big time.
our
Baller status.
time minimum, which I think we should actually accomplish
This could
probably
be it.
tonight.
This could be.
This could be it, or maybe Friday's episode. So we'll be making some more food on Friday, so please join us again.
Yeah,
at 5 p.m.
maybe comment on the Instagram.
Yeah, if
'Cause I
you
have
have
no idea what we're making yet.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't have our menu planned for Friday yet. So if there's something that you would love to see us make, and it's something that we feel like we're pretty confident in making, maybe we'll make it on here.
It could almost be like chop style.
Yeah. So we're gonna go enjoy our meal.
Well
So,
done.
Yes.
Well played.
Thank you. Thanks. A touche. Okay. So we're ready to eat. Thanks again for joining us. We hope to see you on Friday, and we'll be posting this on our. Oh yeah, that would be.
They're doing challenges. I think that would be.
Yeah, I think that would be fun too. The only thing is we're gonna have to we might have to do it from the week before so that we can just get the ingredients that we need to kind of prep. So it wouldn't be as scary as chopped an unknown basket.
It would be totally unknown. Although
Yeah.
I never check the social media. That's all Sally. So if she went and bought it all, I would have no idea what's in the basket. That would be pretty fun.
Yeah. But so that'll be fun. So we can kind of come up with some different menu ideas. But maybe this week, maybe at the end of the week, we might make some of that squash that we have that we need to get through, and we can show you how we roast our squash up. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, everybody. Take care. Have a great night wherever you are. Enjoy your meal. We're about to enjoy ours.
Yep.
So take care.
Bye.
Oh, there's Hogue. Say goodbye. Oh.